26 through 30. In this verse, Lord Ramchandra, having returned from 14 years in exile in the forest, is again living in the kingdom of Ayodhya, ruling the citizens. And there is some sample explanation of the wonderful management of the kingdom at that time. Especially in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is focusing on this verse in text 26, where the streets, every single street, alleyway, and lane was perfectly clean and fragrant by the sprinkling of perfumed waters from the trunks of elephants. Which means there must have been hundreds, if not thousands, of elephants cleaning the streets every day. Have any of you ever been sprayed by an elephant? Just recently, when we had our yatra in South India. South India is a place, especially in particular areas, where they have really tried to preserve the very ancient sattvic culture of India. There was this greeting of all of us in Srirangam. Srirangam is the largest temple in all of India, several acres in size. And there, 7 walls and 21 gates that one can enter into before arriving in the temple room. And they greeted us in a traditional way with all sorts of instruments, drums, horns, and especially with an elephant. And this particular elephant, when we were doing Harinam Sankirtan, first put a garland on me. It's kind of, you have to have faith in these elephants. It's about 100 times my size standing in front of me. And to put a garland, they practically stand on top of me. The trunk, they go, and they put out and then the elephant wanted to have a little musical concert for us. So someone gave the elephant, his trainer, a harmonica. And the elephant took the harmonica in his trunk and started playing nice melodies, actually. This was it was very esoteric to me, because 40 years before I threw my harmonica in the Ganges. And it was a distraction from my spiritual life. And now, this elephant is playing harmonica in the Lord's temple. So I was thinking, actually it's traditional. Even the high priest of one of the most orthodox temples in all of India has their elephant playing a harmonica. And after that, the elephant did something right in front of everybody, but I wasn't expecting. Sprayed me with water from his trunk. Where the water came from, I didn't see. I don't know if he sucked water and let it out, or if he was just blowing his nose on it. I wasn't sure whether he was honoring me or insulting me. If he was taking perfumed water like this verse and spraying it, that would be like an honor. But if he was blowing his nose on me, that was not an honor at all. Anyways, whatever it was, I was soaked. So I'm remembering this as we're reading about the elephants here. But one thing I did learn is when he sprayed from his trunk, it was honestly like the more perfect than any human being could create a shower. It just came out so forceful and so gentle and such tiny little particles. Just like a gentle shower. And then in the next verses we find how the citizens and their love for Lord Ram, because he literally treated every citizen, whoever they were, as his own daughters and sons. There was no discrimination. Vidyavanaya Santane Brahmani Kavi Hastini Suni Chaiva Svabhakecha Pandita Sandarsha. The Bhagavad Gita 5th chapter tells that a godly person who has real wisdom, their quality is to see every living being with equal vision. Whether one be a man or a woman, rich or poor, Hindu or a Buddhist or a Muslim or a Jew or a Christian or a Jain or a Sikh or a Parsi or an agnostic or an atheist, young or old, whether one's from India or Pakistan or Palestine or Israel or Russia or America or Africa, whether one is an elephant or a cow or a dog or a cat, or even a Bombay rat. Many such people. He sees everyone with equal vision. How is that possible? Because they see Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hrideshir Trinitishit. That the Paramatma, the Supreme Lord, is situated within the heart of everyone. And the Gita tells, Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Krishna says, every living being are my parts and parcels. Everyone is a part of God, a spark of God. Just like the sun is emanating unlimited sun rays. And every sun ray is qualitatively exactly identical to the sun planet. Gives off heat, gives off light. But every sun ray is just a part of the sun planet. And it's actually not different from the sun planet. So in the same way, wherever there's life, there is the presence of the Atma, or the soul, the source of consciousness. And that consciousness is divine, sacred, part of God. whether in a plant or an insect or an animal, a bird, or all varieties of human life. One who is godly, one who has true wisdom, sees every living thing with this equal vision. And therefore, Amanina offers respect to everyone and actually has love for everyone. When we realize the spiritual essence within ourselves, we can recognize the spiritual essence everywhere, within everyone. So these are the qualities of a saintly person. Lord Ram is God himself who has incarnated within this world as an avatar. So he is seeing everyone as his own sons and daughters. Krishna tells in Gita, Aham bija pradapita. Because of such love, such care, such compassion, you see, a mother and father, when managing the household, they don't just manage the house and the affairs and in an impersonal way, as whoever happens to be here will get the benefits. A mother and father has very intimate, personal concern and care for every one of their children. A good mother and father. And that is the way Ram treated everyone. And it is natural that if you give love, you will recognize the love in others. Sometimes we feel unloved. There may not be that much we can do about that, but there is something we could always do. We could love others. And when we actually express our love for others, then in most cases, people reciprocate by giving love to us. And will actually be able to recognize it. The nature of love between the soul and God, is based on the sincerity of our intent. Srila Prabhupada explains that Krishna does not see the things that are offered, but the intention, the purpose in which it is offered. Patram pushpam palam toyam yogi bhakta prayasht. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells, even if you offer to me with love and devotion a fruit, a flower, a leaf, or a little water, I will accept. And there are countless examples of this within the great histories of India and the world. I'd like to tell a few stories in this regard. And we'll continue this evening also. Here we find Ramchandra in the most opulent city of Ayodhya, accepting the love of his devotees in the form of what we're reading about today. Incredibly decorated palaces, roads sprayed clean with perfumed water from the trunks of elephants. So majestic and opulent. There's no city in the world today that could do this. But when he was in the forest in exile, tribal king named Guha. His people were just living in little straw huts in the forest. And Maharaj Guha offered Ram some straw to sleep on that night. And offered him some wild roots and herbs to eat. And Ramchandra was conquered by the offerings of Guha, because they were offered with love. When he came to Panvasrovar, while Ram was looking for Sita, who had been abducted by Ravana, he was directed by Kabanda to this lake called Pamba, where he would meet Hanuman and Sugriva and make allies with him. There on the bank of that little lake was a very old tribal woman named Shabari. She was so old. She had been living in the forest since her childhood as an ascetic. When Ramchandra saw her, she had long, matted hair. She was dressed in the bark of trees and the black skin of a deer that departed by natural causes. She was emaciated, and lack of proper food. When she saw Lord Ram, she was overwhelmed with joy. The background of Shabari is she was born in a veal caste in those days, which means she was a tribal lady with no education, practically born and raised in the jungles. But she met great devotees. The Guru was Matanga Rishi, and they lived in that forest. And she simply wanted to be with them, to hear from them, to learn from them, to serve with them. She lived many, many years just humbly hearing the message of God, seeing the compassion of these great rishis, and serving them and serving with them. Long before, Matanga Rishi took everyone in his ashram back to the spiritual world. I told Shabari that you should stay back behind, because the Supreme Lord is going to incarnate and he's going to come to this forest. You should be here to receive him and to serve him nicely and give him happiness. And after you serve him, then your life will be completely purified and you can come join us in the spiritual world. So the Guru, all our Gurus, and all our most intimate, loving friends, they all left for the spiritual world, and she was alone in that forest. Every day, she expected Ram to come. Every day, she would wake up in the morning and thinking, today is the day Ram will come. And she would go out and collect fruits. The main fruit that grew there was a simple berry that monkeys like to eat. She would collect them keep in a basket. She could clean the place very nicely, the little forest ashram. And she'd wait. She'd be looking in every direction in anticipation. This was her meditation. And then when night came, Ram didn't come, so she went to sleep. The next morning was spent the same way. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. The anticipation. She never lost faith. She never lost hope. Our Gurudev Matanga Rishi said, Ram will come, and he will give you all life's perfections. She was patient. It's not that after a few months, she gave up and decided to do something else. Try to get a job somewhere. She knew 100% for sure Ram was coming. The words of the great souls. Decades passed. She grew very, very old. She waited. She was a master yogi, perfect yogini. She had mastered all the principles of yoga. She could practically live without eating or drinking. The only thing that nourished her was the expectation that Ram will come. And on that very holy day, she saw from a distance a most effulgent personality that attracted her heart like no other. And even before she could clearly, visibly see him, his form, she knew that he's come. My Lord has come. Now let's meditate on the setting. It's not that Shabari was waiting for God to come to her, and he didn't come 1 day or 2 days, so she was trying to pass the time watching television, listening to music, getting intoxicated, going to social gatherings. She didn't see another human being for all those years. She was in the most isolated part of the forest. And she would not leave that place for anything, because her Guru said Ram is going to come here. She was in the ecstasy of Vipralamba, love and separation, was waiting. So when Ram appeared before her, her heart was bursting with happiness, supernatural, spiritual happiness. She was in transcendental ecstasy. And when she saw that beauty of Ram and Lakshmi approaching her, and then standing before her, Shabari ran to him, although she was so old, incredibly old. But she wouldn't give up her life either until she rendered this service to the Lord. You see, she wasn't waiting to take something for God. She was waiting all those years with the anticipation to render personal service to the Lord. That was her dream. And when the Lord was standing before her, what did she have to offer? There was nothing. There was no grocery stores or markets to go and buy something. It was just a forest. But she had made with her own hands out of kusha grass, just a wild grass that grows out of the water. She tied together little mats. And custom, when a great personality comes to your home, you wash their feet. Because in olden times, people didn't drive or take taxis or planes like many of you are on planes today. Some of you, because of your delayed flights, will probably really appreciate how nice it is to walk. So when people would walk a distance to come to your house, the custom was to wash the feet with very cooling, nice, scented water to make your feet very, very cool and comfortable. And it's also the sign of humbling yourself before a special guest. So although Pampasarovar was very close by, the eagerness of Shabari was so intense. Tears were pouring from her eyes. Tears of ecstasy, tears of love, tears of gratitude. She profusely washed Lord Ram's feet with the tears of her love. And Sri Ramchandra, he didn't accept the water, he accepted the love in which it was being offered. And it was from the heart and to the heart. It was perfectly satisfied. And she wanted to offer Ram some food to eat, knowing that he had also been traveling in the forest. Ram himself was in tree bark and had matted hair. The fruits that Shabari had collected, the nature of that fruit is whether it's bitter or sweet, it looks exactly the same. The only way to tell is to taste it. Now, according to tradition, when you're offering food to the Lord, you never taste it. It's considered improper, disrespectful to taste something, then offer it to the Lord. We offer it as bhoga, and then after it's offered with love and devotion, the prasadam, the mercy, we accept. But for Shabari, as I say, she was very uneducated, coming from a very, very isolated little tribe in the forest. She just wanted Ram to have something sweet. She didn't know all these rules and regulations. So spontaneously, she took each fruit and bit a little piece of it. And if it was bitter, she put it aside for herself to take later. And if it was sweet, she took it out of her mouth and gave it to Ram. And he ate it. Tasting the sweetness of her devotion. And after he ate to his full satisfaction, he exclaimed that even when I was in the city of Ayodhya, being fed by my father, who was the king, the most luxurious dishes, and even as I've been wandering through the forest, eating sometimes the most succulent fruits from the trees, I have never, ever tasted anything so sweet and satisfying to my heart as these berries that you, Shabari, are giving to me today. Was it the berry? Or was it the loving intention in which she was giving? Then Lord Ram asked her questions. Please tell me, have you found what you're looking for through your asceticism? And what is the type of your meditation you're doing? And I could see by your tree bark garments and your matted hair and your emaciated body and your very, very old age that you're living a very hard life here. Please tell me. What are your realizations? What is your meditation? What is your austerity? he asked, I am longing to see the ashram of your guru, Matanga Rishi. Shabari said, I'd be happy to show you all the way around. So she gave Ram a tour of the forest. She said, this is the altar where my guru and all of my god brothers and god sisters, where they did their worship. And they would just, their whole worship was just taking flowers from the forest and little fruits and offering it to the Lord in meditation, in devotion. And this is, they would sit and meditate. And this is where they would do their offerings. And now I'll show you a very special place. After bathing in the lake, in their tree bark, they would take it off and put on a dry set, and they would hang their wet tree bark here. And she said, look, the tree bark is still wet, just as it was minutes after they washed. And it's decades and decades later. And the flowers and the fruits that they offered on their altar, they're still just as fresh as they were the day they were offered. Just to keep within her heart the memory of these great personalities who had all left her for the spiritual world. The Lord, by his own transcendental potency, kept everything in the forest just as if they had left a few minutes ago. Why? Just to give that experience, that feeling of joy to Shabari. After she honored and worshipped the Lord in her most simple way, she said, actually, I want to offer prayers to you, but I don't know any prayers. I have no education. She didn't know any verses or any scriptures. She didn't have that mental capacity in her brain. But the Lord told her that the sincerity of the love of your heart is the very fulfillment and perfection of offering of all prayers. You have mastered the path of yoga because you have awakened unselfish love that has absolutely no trace of false ego. And I know, Shabari, that you are waiting to join your guru and all of the sages in the spiritual world. I give my blessings. You may go now. And Shabari, after bowing at the feet of the Lord and crying tears of gratitude, she sat in the lotus posture, and by her mystical yogic power, she ignited the fire element within her own body, and her body went in fire. And from the flames of her physical body, her original, eternal, spiritual form manifested and bowed down before Lord Ram. And Lord Ram smiled and said, Shabari, go back to my abode in that youthful, beautiful form. Satchidananda, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. That was the form she was awarded. And she ascended to the spiritual realm. Bhattaram pushpam bhavam toyam. What did she offer Ram? The tears from her own eyes to wash his feet, and some simple flowers and fruits that she had tasted, berries from the bush. Samsidhya Haridoshan. All she wanted wanted was to please the Lord. And because of that desire, Lord Ram was pleased and he gave her the highest perfection. So here in Ayodhya, the citizens who are wearing beautiful silks, ornaments, living in palaces, eating fine foods, highly educated, both academically and spiritually, they're throwing flowers on Lord Rama's head. The beautiful thing is, there's no difference. There was absolutely no difference between the elegant citizens of Ayodhya offering flowers and Shabari and her tree bark offering little simple fruits, berries. Because there is no material qualification or disqualification in the path of bhakti. Everything is based on the sincerity of our heart. And there's a beautiful story in Krishna's Leela that depicts the same principle. In fact, there are so many. In Rama's Leela, Bharat spent his whole life worshipping the shoes of Ram for those 14 years. And Ram is manifested in those shoes at every moment. Sita, the eternal consort of Ram, who is the feminine aspect of the divine. According to the Vedic system, God is both male and female, equally. And the male and female natures in this world, their origin is in the eternal spiritual realm, where the Lord has a male and female aspect, called by different names in different times, in different places. Sita and Ram, Radha, Krishna, Lakshmi, Narayana, Parvati, Shiva, Gu, Varaha. Sita, who is the feminine divinity, the eternal female aspect of the Supreme, appeared in the town of Mithila. Have any of you ever been to Mithila? Please raise your hands. We should go on our trip to Mithila. It's a beautiful place. I lived there exactly 40 years ago. And it was such a simple village. While we're on the subject of elephants, that was the main form of transportation. Elephants. Beautiful temples there. And so many devotees of Sita and Rama. But it was, in those days, I don't know what it's like now, because 40 years can change holy places in this age of Kali. But in those days, there were no cars, no trucks, there wasn't even motorcycles. I remember I was sitting on the main highway of Mithila. Would you like to hear this story? The main highway is a dirt path. And on the dirt path, instead of semi-trailer trucks, in America you have 18-wheeler, gigantic trucks going down the road. In India you have these lorries that, what can I say? Sometimes you see these trucks in India, and the cargo they put in the back of this decrepit, dilapidated vehicle is 3 times the size of the vehicle. And then on top of that, there's, goats and chickens and a couple families. That's the way I used to travel in India, on top of those overcrowded roads. But in Mithila in those days, the semi-trailers were elephants. One elephant after another. This is in South Nepal. Many wild elephants were living. So they would train them. And on top of each elephant was usually a little boy, about 10 years old, little Nepalese child, usually pretty skinny. The elephant weighs a couple tons. The child probably weighs about 20 kilos. And he's got a little stick, this little bamboo stick about this big. And he's telling the elephant, go here, and the elephant I was, coming from America where, when I was raised, strength is an important thing. I was thinking, this is incredible. This little skinny boy, he doesn't even have muscles, he doesn't work out. He's got this little stick, that stick. If he hit me on the head with it, it wouldn't hurt. And yet this gigantic elephant is afraid of him.